as you know, we are doing this Edutoi Connect webinar from the last 1 month almost during this lockdown period. And we have covered almost 9 Edutoi Connect webinars so far. 6 or 7 is, hotels, and we have covered 2 state chapters. We have covered so far hotels like branded hotels like Taj and Leela, ITC, Fortune, and Welcome Heritage. And also we have covered this state tourism like MP and also West Bengal. With the help of Mr. Atul Singh from the Madhya Pradesh and Mr. Debajit Ji from the West Bengal. Also, we have now right now we are going to do the presentation on the Andhra Pradesh as well as the Mayfair Hotels and Resort. Now, I will request before going to Mr. Vijay and Mr. Mahapatra, I will request Khanna ji to say a few words.
Good morning. Thank you, Rajesh ji. And today we are now, as everybody knows, that we have a presentation on the Andhra Pradesh and as well as the Mayfair Hotels. Andhra Pradesh, as you know, that which is the best cleanest, third best cleanest city of India, and it's a wonderful place and with a lot of virgin beach actually. And there are a lot of things to explore in Andhra Pradesh. And if you really remember that in 2017, we had done our convention, Edutoi convention in Visakhapatnam also. And everybody, they appreciated for the, the Andhra Pradesh as a destination and they wanted to explore it. But a lot of people, they could not join the convention, and for that reason we thought this is the right time to educate people about the Andhra Pradesh. There are a lot of caves are there. Araku Valley is a beautiful place, exactly, but we are not aware about that, how to explore that destination. That was the main motto of today's presentation with the Andhra Pradesh Tourism Board. And Mr. Vijay Mohan, as everybody knows, he's our very dynamic chapter chairman for the Andhra Pradesh, and has a lot of good rapport with the government bodies. Then will be very helpful to explore Andhra Pradesh as a destination. The next is the other way presentation have the Mayfair hotels. If I not wrong, Mayfair is the best hotel chain, the luxury hotel chain in the east side and particularly the south side we have seen. I have stayed in a lot of hotels in the Mayfair and I have seen that these are better than even the 5-star hotels, the services they are giving and the rooms and everything. So Mr. Mahapatra is here, who will be taking care about and he will be giving the presentation on the Mayfair hotels, and wish you all the best to all the, thank you to all the participants, and take benefit of the Andhra Pradesh tourism, that how to explore it, and the Mayfair hotels. Thank you very much.
So before we start, I would like to update all the members that we have crossed 100 members who are present in the webinar at the moment. Apart from our Edutoi regular members, we have a lot of non-members as well. So I welcome all of you on behalf of Edutoi. Welcome to Edutoi session, sir. And thanks for coming and joining us this seminar today. As Mr. Khanna briefed, we have done our convention in 2017 at Vizag on 17th and 18th of November. A fantastic convention. We were very grateful to then the Chief Minister, Shri Naidu ji, who graced the occasion and was present at our convention. So a grand convention we did at Vizag. Also, we all know, as Mr. Khanna ji told, this is the third cleanest city in India, and a lot of places to see. Visakhapatnam, Tirupati, Amarvati, Araku Valley, Anantagiri Hills, Vijayawada, a lot of places to see. And before we hand over the mic to Mr. Vijay Mohan to start his presentation, I would request Arya Saab to brief about Edutoi, sir, because a lot of new members are here who are not actually members of Edutoi, but they are from the travel trade. So give a small brief on Edutoi, what we are, what we do, and how we conduct these webinars.
Thanks, Chetanji. Dear members, as you know, the Edutoi is the big platform for the domestic. We have almost around 800 to 900 members pan India, and we have 11 chapters pan India, like Rajasthan, Tamil Nadu, Kerala, Punjab and Haryana, Northeast, West Bengal, like this. So this is a big platform for all the members. If I request non-members, even they should come forward and join the AG2I, because right now everybody is talking about the domestic. So right now the scenario is going on, everybody is appreciating domestic, and we know the coming time is for the domestic tourism. So forget about international, at least for 6 months to 1 year. So my request, all the members and non-members, they should come forward and promote AG2I and become more members for the AG2I. Thank you very much, sir.
Fantastic, sir. Over to you, Mr. Vijay Mohan. Let us start it, sir. Vijayji, can you listen to us?
Yeah, I'm able to.
All right.
Connect. You can see my screen?
Yeah. Yeah, let's go.
Okay. Thanks, Kannaji. Thanks, Chetan Bhai. Thanks, Rajesh Bhai. Good words on Vizag by Kannaji, you know, what we were and how good we were. But I'll do a very small presentation for about 30 minutes. I won't really do a huge, big program, but I will still go through the main places of Andhra Pradesh. I'll always stick to my word, India's best kept secret, Andhra Pradesh. And we will have this program into 4 parts. That is Visakhapatnam, then Amaravati, then Rayalaseema, and then Konaseema. Andhra Pradesh is something where in history we go back to the Vedic period. We had the wonderful temples, we have rich heritage, we had forts, monuments. Then this is where we actually are in the spiritual legacy with the richest temple in the world at Lord Venkateshwara Temple at Tirupati. We also have 3 Shakti Peethams. We have Mahanandi, we have Rampa, we have Kalahasti. And this is Visakhapatnam, where we still say we have the best kept secret, walking among the clouds at Arku Valley, following the footsteps of Buddha and the rocky caves, which are as old as the dinosaurs at the Bora Caves. We have a 972-kilometer coastline with 22 accessible beaches, and Vizag being the finest. This is the Rushkonda beach, which is very famous for the beaching activities. This is Ramakrishna, which is right within the city center, the city center beach, what we call. And this is Yarada beach, which is on the right-hand side, just beside the Dolphin Nose. We also have the other beaches at Bhimlipatnam, Peripalam. We have the Barua, which is about 106 kilometers from Srikakulam. Then we have Kalingapatnam, which is about 32 kilometers from Srikakulam. And I just go a brief on city and around. I know a lot of people know about Visakhapatnam. We have the Indira Gandhi Zoological Park, which is in 635 acres of land. Then we have the Dolphin Nose. If you can see the photo, it's shaped like a dolphin. And we have a lighthouse on top, which can navigate ships up to 65 kilometers away. We have the Submarine Museum, which I will talk a little later in a different slide. We have the Kailasgiri, which is a 380 acres of land on the top of a hill, made into a park. The most exciting thing is you have watchtowers or sitting points made at the edge of the hills where you can look into the sea, and you can really feel that you're watching into the sea. We have the boat rides, then we have the Buddha Park, then we have a Ramanaidu studio, which I'll again talk later. We have the Shivaji Park, we have Kambalakonda, which is a sanctuary, wildlife sanctuary within the city center. We have Mudusalava, then we have Eramata Dibbalu, which I'll again talk a little later. Now, this is the Karusra Submarine Museum, which is called the Karusra 20, which is the Kalavari class of submarines. Commissioned in 1969, decommissioned in 201, and then it became a museum for us, which is about 91.3 meters, about 300 feet in length, maintained by the Navy even now, but it's guided by the ex-servicemen who actually show us the inside of the submarine. Then opposite to that, we have the Tu-142 Jet Museum. It's basically an aircraft museum this flight was an anti-craft submarine aircraft, and it served the Indian Navy for about 29 years before we converted that into a museum. Now, Totlakanda is a 2,200 years old Buddhist site. Activities were between the 2nd century BC and the 2nd century AD. You still have storage points for food, water, and It served as a religious the academic center. The Hinayana Buddhism appears to have been practiced here, which included the worship of Lord Buddha. We have evocations which reveal the Satvana dynasty leads, and also we have there were Roman silver coins which proved that there was a lot of trade happening in this part of the area. We also yielded 12 inscriptions of the Brahmi script. And you can see hills around, and very close in the two adjacent hills, we also have two other such sites called Bhavikonda and Pauralakonda. Kailashgiri, which is on top of a hill, which I talked to you earlier. Erramattu Dibbalu. This is a 1.2 million year old soil formation, of red soil formation, which are geological heritage site, and we requested the government of Andhra Pradesh to take this as one of the UNESCO sites. The Visakhapatnam Museum has got a huge collection of crockery, then costumes, jewelry. There are a lot of periodicals, maps, warship photographs, planes, submarines. A lot of things are in the museum. This is a Ross Hill, which was actually built by a gentleman called Ross during the British time in 1864. And this hill actually portrays the three religions. On one hill, we have the temple, on one hill, we have a mosque, and on one hill, we have the church. This is the Kondakarlava, which is a freshwater lake known for birds and for photography. We have the Dutch cemetery, which is a 16th century at Bhimlipatnam. I go to Arku. Arku is, we call Arku as the Andhra's Ooty, because this has got tribal communities, we have waterfalls, we have the tribal museum, and if you can see the yellow flowers in this photograph, for about 1 month, whole of Arku is almost in this color. The Arku Valley, a small photograph. And now how to reach Arku? The best way to visit Arku is the Vistadom train that takes you to Arku. And the most exciting part of this particular trip is you go through 58 tunnels and 84 bridges. So the journey is really wonderful, drives through the forest, and something that, you know, anybody who takes the Vistadom will cherish forever. Arku Valley has got the Bora Caves, which are about 1 million year old, and it's about 1400 meters above sea level. We have the stalagmites, we have the stalactites, known for its calcium deposits. We have Anandagiri, where you have the EPDDC property. It's the highest point where you have a place to stay. It's very cold in the night, one of the best places to stay. Taida is another place, it's called Taida Jungle Bells, where EPDDC have a property. You can do bird watching, you can do a little bit of trek. You have the Katiki waterfalls, then we have the Chapra, which is a picnic spot, and then you have the Arku Valley dance, which is called the Misa dance. We have the Padmapuram thing, which is more a botanical garden. We have a tribal museum, which shows all the traditional handicrafts of the tribals, a lot of artifacts. Then we have a coffee plantation. With this coffee plantation, we also have a coffee museum in Arku, and we also have a lot of coffee tasting. This is a small, this is a photograph of the multi-million year old Bora Caves, considered to be one of the deepest in India. And this is another photograph, and you can see a small hole which actually happened during the making of a railway track, and that is how they discovered that there was a cave here. A railway track is very adjacent to these caves. This is the Katiki waterfalls, which is about 15 kilometers, about 15 to 20 kilometers away from Arku. Lampasinghe. Now, Lampasinghe is the coldest place in the south. It's actually in the local language, in the tribal language, it's called Korra Bailu, which means someone who stays out in the open would freeze like a stick. Temperatures go up to 0. They have touched -1 also during the December, January. And I think a lot of people who do not know, it snowed once here about a few years back. So it's a wonderful place. A lot of people flock here during the winter times. Then Vizag is known for its adventure activities, water sports at Rishikonda. Then you can do this rappelling at the Chaprai waterfall at Arku. Scuba diving is a thing that is done. You need to leave by 5 o'clock from your hotel because they start taking you to the sea around 5:30. You come back by 9:30. They charge about 4,500 for the scuba diving. And it is very personalized. There is a one-to-one person for each of the scuba dives. Then we talk about the Eastern Ghats. If you look at the Eastern Ghats spread from all the way from Orissa to Karnataka, and 40% of the Eastern Ghats are in Andhra Pradesh. Trekking in the Eastern Ghats. This is the highest point of the Eastern Ghats. This is called the Jindagadda, which is at about 1690 meters, that is 5540 feet. You have a lot of trekking routes in this. This is one of the trekking routes that people can do in the Arku. There are a lot of foreigners who do these trekking routes. We have 12 kilometers, we have a 9. You can plan your trekking routes. We can even do a 24-kilometer trekking route. Then this is another trekking route, Kambalakonda, which I talked a little while earlier, which is within the city. There are trekking routes which you can do from 1 hour to 4 hours. Water sports at Rishkonda. We have a lot of water sports, I mean, it's one of the best things to do. Tribal circuit. This is called the Gadaba tribe. They are the oldest and the most colorful tribe in India. 35% are in Andhra Pradesh, 59% in Orissa, 5% in Chhattisgarh, and 1% in Madhya Pradesh. So the tribal circuit, which is generally organized, goes into Andhra. Then we take them into Orissa, take them into Chhattisgarh, and finally we go into Bhubaneswar or vice versa. From Bhubaneswar, we come back to Visakhapatnam. Some of the photographs of how these tribals are, Andhra side are a little different. The Orissa side are a little different. The Chhattisgarh side are a little different. So I've put various photos for people to understand. Then we can do a Visakhapatnam with an Arku combined with the tribal circuit. Day 1, you can do the local Visakhapatnam. Day 2, you can do Totlakonda, Bhimli, Rishikonda. And day 3, we can go to Arku Valley. We can go to a village called Pondiba village, where you can do some photo section with the tribes. You can talk and have some experience with them. You have huts which doors are as old as 150 to 200 years old, and they still have weaponries, their weapons, the traditional weapons, which date back to 200 years. Then we can walk about 700 meters to one of the biggest banyan trees in this area, which stretches into about 2 acres of land. And from there, we can go to Chompi village, where you can experience the pot works and the lac works, and then you can have an experience of the Dimisa dance. Day 4, we can go to a village called Pribanda, and from the road point, we trek to about 40 minutes to this particular village, because there is no road to reach this place. And you go meet a very interesting tribal called Q. These tribes are very unique, and the language is very unique, because only 21 people still speak this language. And it is considered to be one of the most diminishing languages identified. We can have lunch at Taida, which is an APDTC property, which I said is Jungle Bells. We can reach Arku, we can reach Vizag by evening, and day 5 we can depart from Vizag. Regarding medical tourism, the knee surgeries are the cheapest in India, and till today we have a lot of people who come here from as far away as Amritsar, from Delhi, to do these surgeries. Then the endoscopic laser spine surgery by Dr. Tirmal Rao is rated among the 10 top surgeons in the world. The minimal invasive spinal surgery is what it is called. The surgery is done and somebody can go back home in 8 hours. So there is no hospitalization, it's just the surgery that's done and they can go back. So then we have Pema Wellness. It's all about naturopathy. And Dr. Murthy, who is the doctor here, was the person who started the Bangalore Naturopathy Institute. And golf, this is the Sunray Beach Resort, which is adjacent to the sea. Golf course, East Point Golf, which is within the city of Visakhapatnam. MICE, we have V Convention, Novotel, Taj, Daspla, and a lot of other hotels which can do conventions or any incentives and meetings. We have SPA, which is in all available in most of the five-star hotels, and even a lot of the private people have also started good spas over here. Vizag as entertainment, we have a wonderful cricket stadium which hosted 2 test crickets matches, and we had a lot of one-days, a lot of 2020s, and we also had the IPL matches played here. Then to Tollywood, we have our Ramanadu studio, which is very famous, quite a big one. We have a lot of shootings. Just to give you an idea, the blockbuster Ek Duje Ke Liye was shot in Visakhapatnam completely, though an old film. Vizag as a wedding destination, Park, Vizag Conventions, Novotel, Sunray. Sunray has a lot of marriages from Raipur and Odisha. Destination weddings happen here. Then, in terms of cuisines, the most famous is the Bongu chicken. Chicken is cooked in a bamboo, and we also have the Bongu biryani. We call it Royal Igru, which is the prawn fry, the Arku coffee. We have the Chana Kaja, the peanut jaggery sweet, and the famous Patlam chicken, which is wrapped in egg omelette, and again is wrapped in a banyan leaf and served. Temples, we have Arsavali, which is the sun god temple, and twice in a year, in October and March, the sun rays fall directly on the feet of the Lord Surya. So that's a very significant thing that happens here. We have Simachalam, which is the lion-headed avatar of Lord Vishnu, and the deity is covered in sandalwood because the deity is considered to be very ferocious. And only once in a year, we are able to have a glimpse of the original deity during the Chandanostam time. Anavaram, it's about 100 kilometers from Vizag, the Satyanarayana Swami temple, known for the Vrata, Satyanarayana Vratas. We have Puttisima, which is actually in the Godavari district. We have Sri Kurmam, which is about 13 kilometers from Srikakulam, and which is dedicated to the second avatar of Lord Vishnu, the Kurma avatar. And the temple dates back to the 1281 AD. We have the Ramanarayana, which is entire story of Ramayana is told in a 3D sculpture, which is about 40 kilometers from Vizag, close to Vijayanagaram. And then we have the Sri Mukulam temple, which is about 50 kilometers from Srikakulam, an 8th century temple which was built by the Kamaravana of the East Ganga dynasty. And it's known for its architectural brilliance, and the works on the wall are a real feast to watch. Hotels, we have Novotel, the Park, the Taj, ITC, 4 Points, Daspala, Novotel, Dolphin, Palm Beach, Sunray, Marriott, Dream Park. We have Rockdale, Fortune, Aki's, Royal Fort, and a lot of other hotels. This is the Vijayanaram Fort, which is close to Visakhapatnam, about 60 kilometers away. This is Chandragiri, which actually is in the Chittoor district, but the photo had to come here. Then we have the Footsteps of Buddha. We have a wonderful 4-night package of the Buddhism circuit. So day one we do the Sailondam and the Ramatirtham, and we come back to Visakhapatnam. Day 2, we do Visakhapatnam, which has got 4 major sites of Tatrakonda, Bavikonda, Vajjanakonda, and Pavaralakonda. And day 3, we go to Putturu, then we go to Kappuram, Maduru, and we stop over at Bhimavaram. And next day, we go to Gandasala, Kuntapalli, Amravati, and we stop at Guntur. Sir, just to inform you, our Principal Secretary, Mr. Praveenji, I think has entered the room. Then we have Nagarjun Sagar. So I'll just take this call for a minute. Sir. So you just have to register and then it.
No, I think, sir, I think Praveen Kumar, what's his full name, sir?
Praveen, it will be Praveen Kumar.
Mr. Praveen Prakash.
Praveen Prakash, yes.
Okay.
Yes, sir, they are giving you entry, sir. They are allowing you to know.
Sorry, guys, we'll take 1 minute for this. Our
sir, you can just have to register, sir. You have registered, sir?
No, send him the ID and password. That is okay, I think.
Sir, they're sending you an ID and password, sir. 1 minute, I'll just send you a password. I'm sending it to you, sir. I'm just sending it to you, sir. I'm just sending it to you. I'm just sending it to him, sir. I have that ID and password. Sorry, friends. Sir, I'm sending this, sir. I have this ID already with me.
I've sent you. Sorry, friends, we are interrupting for just 1 or 2 more minutes because we have Principal Secretary of Andhra Pradesh Tourism, Mr. Praveen with us. So he's just joining in. We'll take 1 minute to start it again.
So shall I go ahead, sir?
Yeah,
Before you end
please.
this?
Yeah, yeah. Sure.
So then we go to Nagarjunakonda and then we end up at Vijayawada, or you can proceed on to Hyderabad to take your return flight out. Well, Visakhapatnam is always a gateway destination into Andhra Pradesh as Rajahmundry, Vijayawada, or Tirupati, but I'll consider it to be one of the major gateways to Chhattisgarh and Odisha. Now I get into the Amravati region. This is the Amravati Mahastupa, which was built during the 3rd century BC in the time of Ashoka. It's one of the famous monuments in this area related to Buddhism. Vijayawada is all about handloom, adventure, museum, beaches, and temples. The Kanakadurga temple is a temple of the goddesses Kanakadurga, very famous. And we just have a Lord Maleshwara temple out here, which is the where Adi Shankaracharya had installed the Sri Chakra. Then we have the Manakal Narasimhaswamy temple, you have the only Brahma temple, then you have the Subramaniam temple, and the Kondapalli fort, which was built in the 14th century by the Musunuri Naiks. So it was also used by the British for the military fortification during the British era. Then we have Kondavidu, which was built in the 13th century by the Reddy kingdoms, which is in the Guntur area. We have a wonderful beach at Vadarevu, about 6 kilometers from Chirala. Then we have Surya Lanka, which is 9 kilometers from Papatla, Ramayapatnam, which is about 2 kilometers from Ongole. The Pavitra Sangam, where the Krishna and Godavari meet, is another wonderful place. We have a Gandhi Hill where the Gandhi Memorial was done. We have the Victoria Jubilee Museum, where you have the Queen Victoria's, a lot of her things are available here. And we have the Bhavani Island, where you have an APDC property in the island, and you can do all these water sports. I mean, you can do any of these activities out there. Kuchipudi is a dance, the classic dance, which originated from this part of the area. We have the Kandapalli toys. Then we go to Konasima, which is all about greenery, temples, forests, and backwaters. They also have a Kakinada beach. Now, when we talk about bridges, you can see a Railcom Road bridge, which is the 3rd longest in India, which is about 4.1 kilometers. You can also see a small photograph of the Kadiyam nurseries. This is the biggest nursery in the world in one location, which is about 3,500 acres of land. Then we have 2 Shaktipitams in this area, one at Draksharam and one at Pitapuram. The Pitapuram is the 10th Shaktipitas of the 18 Shaktipitas, and it is also the 3rd one of the 3 Gayas of India. Then the Draksharam is the 12th Shaktipitam of the 18 Shaktipitas, and is also one of the Pancharamas. This is an area I think all of you can concentrate. We have 3 Shaktipitams in Andhra Pradesh, and I think it would be a good focus point to sell this as one of your major pilgrimage circuits. This is the Godavari Ghat. It's the longest ghat. It's about 1.2 kilometers in length and can take about 70,000 people at one time. The Dwarka Tirumala temple, which is called the Chinna Tirupati or the Small Tirupati, which has the Lord Venkateswara temple here. Then we have the Antarvedi. which is another temple where Maharishi Vasistha got the Godavari river to come to this particular place. And we have the 5 Pancharamas: Amravati, Draksharam, Bhimavaram, Palakolu, and Samalkot. We have other beaches also, which is at Antarvedi and Yanam. Yanam is in fact in Pondicherry, a union territory, very close to Kakinada. We also have the lakes and rivers, Godavari, which you can do boating activities. You can reach Papikondlu from here. You can even reach Bhadrachalam from here. We also have the Koringa Wildlife Sanctuary and the Kolleru Lake, which has a lot of migratory birds. A lot of people come here for interest in photography. Then we have the Papikondlu, which is about which you reach through the boats, and it's also got a lot of ecotourism in this region. Maradimelu is a forest area with a lot of waterfalls and resorts. This area also got a lot of good hotels. Some of them are listed here. You can do the moonlight dinner on the Godavari River. You can do pleasure boating, speed boating. You can do trekking, camping. Now in the foodies, I'd like to mention a special thing called pulasa. Now this is one of the biggest delicacies. This fish actually swims back from the sea when the water enters the sea. Generally when it's flooded, it swims back to the mouth of the fresh water, and that's the time when they catch it. And it is quite a delicacy, and the rate is about 1,500 to 3,000 a kg. It's quite a delicacy, known for its taste. And then you have the Martha Kaja, which is another, specialty of foodies in this particular part of the area. You can do a one-day itinerary, a city tour. Next day, you can do a day tour to Papikondlu on the Godavari. You have these boats that take you to Papikondlu and you can return back. You can also do a night stay at Papikondlu and return back. You can also do a 2-night trip by going to Bhadrachalam. Then you can do another day trip to Marinvalli forest area. Then you can do a 1-day temple tour. Then you can do a Pancharama tour. Then I go into Rayalaseema, which is the other area which a lot of people have not explored, and I think a lot of our members have not even heard about these areas. We also have the Rajiv Gandhi Tiger Reserve at Srisailam, one of the tiger reserves in the country. And it is a wonderful place to go. The forest department do guided treks, and they do guided tours into this area. Then we have Tirupati, which is the richest temple in the world, and Lord Venkateshwara's temple, which is a world famous temple. Then we also have Puttapati, which is the Sri Sathya Sai Baba temple, birthplace of Sri Sathya Sai Baba, and the Prashant Nilayam is here. Then we have Ahabalam, Lord Narasimha. Then we have Srisailam, which is the other Shakti Peetham, apart from the one at Draksharam and Samalkot, which I spoke to you a little while ago. Then we have the Orvakal Rock Garden. It's spread in about 1,000 acres. It's got sculptured garden park with a lot of ancient caves, rock formations. It's about 20 kilometers from Kurnool, and it's also known for a lot of film shootings in this particular place. Then you have the Bellam Caves. These caves are in fact the longest cave system which are open to public in India. The length is about 3,229 meters, but I think they use about 1.5 meters for the public. And the deepest point is about 46 meters. Then we have the Gandikota, which is actually the right bank of the Penna River in the Kadapa area, and is also called the Grand Canyon of India. Then we have the Gandikota fort in that area. The Indovali is actually a 7th century caves in the Amravati area close to Vijayawada. I had to put the slide here. Then we have the Kondareddy Burju, which is in Kurnool, which is a fort which was used as a prison originally. Then you have the Penigonda, which is about a fort which is about 70 kilometers from Anantapur. Then we have the Ketavaram rock paintings. And the significance here suggests that this dates back to 6,000 to 4,000 BC. Then we have the Guti Fort, which is about 45 kilometers from Anantapur. Lepakshi, a real marvel of the, it really showed the Vijayanagram architecture here. It's about 110 kilometers from Anantapur, one of the 108 Shiva temples. and it's got a huge mandap supported by 100 pillars. And the Nandi, what you see is very famous. Then you have Srikalahasti, which is 40 kilometers from Tirupati, a Shiva temple. Then we have Kanipakam of Lord Ganesha, the 11th century, which was built by the Chola dynasties by King Kalatunga. Pushpagiri is another famous temple in the Kadapa districts, known for its ancient texts where Ramayanam things, all this was also written about. Ramayana had scripts written about this temple. Then we have Yoganti, which is a huge pilgrimage area, which got a lot of, it's within the caves and the waterfalls. We have an 8-foot huge statue of Nandi here. Now I'll talk about the handicrafts of Andhra Pradesh. We talk about Kalamkari art, fabrics, very famous in Andhra Pradesh. Then we have the Upadu saris, which is in the East Godavari. They have Kunduru handloom, which is in Srikakulam district. We have the Lanka bamboo toys, which are made in Andhra Pradesh. Then we have the Venkatagiri saris. Then we have the Kondapalli toys. We have the Narsapur lace. We have the Puriti brassware in the Srikakulam district. Then we have the Etukopaka craft, which is close to Visakhapatnam. We have the Dharmaram saris. We have the Bugli Veena. And a little run up on the festivals of Andhra Pradesh. January we do Sankranti, which is the most popular festival, which we call it as Pongal also. Then we have the Rath Saptami. We have the Antarvedi fair of Narasimhaswamy Kalyanam, which is very famous. Then we do the Kottapakonda fair during the Mahashivratri time. Then we have the Sri Ram Navami. Ugadi is a festival which is the New Year of Andhra Pradesh, of the Telugu people. Then we have the Tirupati Ganga Jatra, which is celebrated in Tirupati. Then we have the Paidamathalli Utsav, which is in Vijayanaram, about 60 kilometers from Visakhapatnam. Then we have the Sri Krishna Janmashtami, which is celebrated, the Vinaka Chauthi. Then we have the Atal Tadi kind of fest that is done, which is done by the married woman, where they fast and do prayers for the long life of their husbands. The Vijayadashmi is also celebrated in Andhra Pradesh. Then we have a very different food and dance festival that is held in Rayalaseema during the October time. It's a day-long affair and a must-see for people who are interested to see festivals. And we have the Rottula Pandaga, which is celebrated in Nellore in one of the dargahs. We do the Deepavali, we do the Kartika Purnami, and the last is Vishaka Utsav, which is a part of the annual fest that we do in the Visakhapatnam district, which attracts a lot of people across Andhra Pradesh, Odisha, West Bengal, and Chhattisgarh. Now, the last slide, what I would want to talk about is the pickles of Andhra Pradesh. I should not miss this. We are famous for our pickles, which has a lot of the mango, lemon, gongora, which is a leaf thing. We do garlic. Then we also have the non-vegetarian version, which is generally done in the Godavari districts. So friends, this is a small brief run that I had about Andhra Pradesh.
Thank you, Vijayji, for your wonderful presentation. I just want to ask, it's not a question basically, it's just I want to know, once the Andhra was divided into two parts, the one portion is the Telangana, one is Andhra, and Telangana decide the capital will be the Hyderabad, and Andhra decide the capital is this Amravati. And I know last lot of investor came to invest money in Amravati, but now I come to know that you have decided this capital will be Vijayawada. What is the reason behind it? Is some political or some being a commercial hub? I just want to know.
Sir, I think Amravati still continues to be the capital. We only have the executive capital being shifted to Visakhapatnam.
Okay, okay.
Before we go further, I would like to welcome Mr. Praveen Kumarji, Principal Secretary of Andhra Pradesh Tourism. Thank you so much, sir, for your presence today and taking out time to be part of this webinar, sir. We are really grateful to you. Mr. Khanna, a few words from your side, sir, to welcome Mr. Praveen Kumar.
Thank you, sir, for attending this webinar. In fact, we, the EDITOI, is a association of domestic tour operators of India. And we are promoting India as a destination to Indians only. I mean, I just wanted to describe you what exactly is that association. Because a lot of associations are there, those who say that we are doing inbound, we are doing adventure, we are doing outbound, we are doing. So we the people, we the members, almost about 900 members in our association, with the 11 chapters pan-India are promoting domestic tourism into India and for the Indians basically. That is exactly basic our main idea. And as you know, today that everybody is talking about the domestic tourism will be the front face after this COVID lifted and the lockdown. So for that reason, actually, we wanted that a lot of states has to come forward to give the knowledge about their states. That's very, very important part. So in that context, we had requested our chapter chairman, Mr. Vijay Mohan, to organize a webinar, though, sir, that time you were not there. We have already done one convention of domestic tour operators in 2017. And that was a wonderful, and a lot of people, almost 500 people, they attended, the tour operators, they attended that convention to know about the, the product of the Andhra Pradesh. But now, a lot of people, they could not, and a lot of people have joined also our association. So in this context, we wanted that after this, the COVID and the lockdown uplifted, a lot of people will be asking that domestic tourism is the first phase and where to go, how to go, and what are the destinations which we can really promote. Today, even the inbound, outbound, everybody is talking domestic tourism is the first one to sell, to promote. So we had requested Mr. Vijay Mohan, and we are thankful to him and thankful to you also that you have joined us and to understand the knowledge about the Andhra Pradesh as a destination. So thank you, sir, for joining us. And I think a lot of members will benefit of that and will be able to, sell Andhra Pradesh as a destination.
Would like to listen from Mr. Praveen Kumar
now. Good morning to all. I hope everybody can hear me.
Yes,
and
sir.
I am very happy to be participating in this webinar. And I have got a few points on which I would like all to reflect and all to tell me their ideas. The first point, I'm going to make a few points, and my preference is to also have these points in an order of priority, in the same order of priority. That is my priority, and I'm suggesting that as a priority. So the very first thing which I would like people to think about and to reflect on, and also try to give me your ideas on, is how is whatever we are, whatever our specialization, how are we going to help the people at this time? I'm coming to some of the agenda points here, and maybe talk about that later. But first I want to know from each of us, what is it that we can do for the people at large and not just the tourists, for the people of the country? What is it that at this time that the government can do? What is it that hotels can do? What is it that airlines can do? What is it that tour operators can do? What is it that travel agents can do? You can be anybody. So first, I would like a little bit of whoever can think of some things to talk about that. And the second thing I want to initiate a debate on is to look at ourselves also now, after trying to see what we can do for the people in terms of the threat to their lives, to their economies and everything. After addressing that question a little bit, then we also go into where do we stand today. Each sector, each specialized sector which has to do with tourism, let us try to reflect on where do we stand today? How has this impacted us? Government is also trying to have an assessment of how much is the loss. Broadly speaking, we are looking at loss in from 2 points of view. One is from a GDP point of view, and the other one is from an employment point of view. So how much of employment is lost, will be lost in this year? How much of GDP will be lost in this year? And that also would mean we can also detail a little bit into how much of the loss is it for a sector, for its individual role players in terms of its employees, its employers, and so on. And finally, I would also like to come to the point of a revival. When we try to revive tourism, I cannot predict a date at this point, but being optimistic, if it's going to happen at some time, maybe 6 months, maybe 1 year. Specifically, it is linked to the incident of being able to provide an effective vaccine and an effective medicine. Don't know when that is, but I am thinking normal. So after that time, and when we start again, and when we start to revive, what kind of a revival plan are we going to have? Then in the interim period, if it's a long period like 1 year or 2 years, so what are the variations and innovations we can bring about during a period of restriction when people cannot freely mix with each other in view of the danger of infection? And so at a time like that, what is the way in which tourism still is relevant to tourists and people, and also is able to earn some income for its segment? So when we look at that, there can be, some people spoke about tourism only by road. Some people spoke about only family tourism. So I'm talking about such examples. But in all of these things, my point is, in every one of them, we should be able to demonstrate the safety aspect. We should be able to demonstrate that we are in total touch with the scientific, medical research community, and we are able to bring the most important health safeguards into our package. If we are proposing a tour, we should be able to say that you will be in no danger of infection, and you will be taken care of in these ways. And then we try to promote this package, and this is for the interim period. And then once things settle down to normal with the arrival of a vaccine or a medicine, there can be a revival plan. And if not, if we can't recover immediately, at least over time, year by year, we should be able to come back and do something. So these are the few points to which honestly I respect and appreciate all of your collective knowledge, and I'm looking for answers from you. I'm not providing any answers. I'm only starting a few points. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for all your, the points which you have mentioned are really important to all of us, being, you as a principal and we as a, the bridge between the, the state and the client. It's very, very important to understand that exactly how to promote and how to boost the tourism into that particular state. Rightly you said that what exactly you need from us, we need from you, first of all, the hygiene points and the safety of the client, that is very, very important. Everybody today is asking if we are doing that today, this seminar on that the promotion of the Andhra Pradesh as a destination. If I tell my client that go to the Andhra Pradesh, and that's a beautiful city and a beautiful state with a lot of potential there. I mean, if we can find from the, the lakes, you can find the beautiful beaches, the hills, everything is there. And the people are very nice. And the cleanest city, Visakhapatnam, like the third cleanest city of India. If you visit that, you will really would like that. But exactly their question is that, is it really safe to go there? That's the most important factor everybody is asking. No doubt today, if we are talking, the rail and road and air, the connectivity will started slowly and steadily, but the road, yes, definitely. People will go by road and they themselves, they will drive because, they have a little bit scarcity that if they go by the public transportation or the rail or the by air. So that's very right, rightly you said. And but our concern is that exactly we want to also understand from the states what kind of guidelines they have made for the client or for the tourists, those who are visiting them. Guidelines from the states are very, very important to know so that we can really transfer these guidelines to our clients, those who are visiting the Andhra Pradesh. That's most important. Secondly, hotels also plays a very, very important part. Mr. Pradipta Mahapatra is here, and from the hotel Mayfair Hotels, they are also taking, I am sure they are also taking a lot of, the guidelines and the safety measures, that how the client will come to there, how they will welcome, and how they will take care of that, social distancing into their hotel, not into their hotel, even to the rooms, even to the breakfast, even to the restaurants, even to the food areas, even to the, in the lobby areas, everything. So everything has to be considered in such a way so that people feel that they are safe in that particularly state, or they are feel safe in the hotel particularly. So these guidelines has to be, forwarded to us from the state tourism boards, which actually we want. And we
Sir,
also want that a knowledge is very, very important, which we are doing it now through our webinar about the state. But what are the cities or what are the tourist spots where we can say these are the green lane areas, green areas? That's more important to understand. Where we find that these areas are the red areas or the orange areas, we should try to avoid those areas and to start the, the tourists to those green areas where we are very, very much 100% sure that these are the safe areas. And we can, but keeping in consideration the social distancing, the other norms are very, very important for all of us, because, we are the bridge between the, as I said, between the, the state or the hotel or the, the client. So everything comes to that agent or the tour operator that you had recommended me to go to that state or go to that hotel. So you are responsible for that. So we are taking that responsibility. So we want to be very, very sure that what states are taking measures to, protect our clients. And on the other hand, we are also requesting all the hotels what kind of a, or the tourist spots, what kind of a measure they are taking so that our clients are safe. And they say that yes, we have really enjoyed with our family, though it will be a weekend packages, it will be a family packages, and will be a nearby packages, no doubt about that. But of course, whatever the packages, we want to sell it, and these are very, very important for all of us. Thank you,
sir,
sir.
sir, you rightly said, and what Mr. Praveen Kumar has asked. Sir, we have noted down all your questions, though Rajesh is moderating the session, but I am just answering you. We have noted all these questions, sir, and we will revert back to you on an email. I've got your email address, and on an official capacity, we will write all the answers of your questions and we'll send it through. Because this session is exclusively on the destination, on to understand what is Andhra
Promotion.
Pradesh and the promotion of it. So, sir, we are diverting ourselves a bit. Over to you, Rajeshji. We will take the questions on this, and then we'll start with Mr. Mahapatra for Mayfairs. Mr. Arya?
Yeah. So I'll request Mr. Mahapatra give the brief
Sir,
presentation.
no, sir. We'll take the
Oh,
question
sorry.
first, sir.
Sir,
Because
question-
we'll finish one thing at a time. We'll finish the destination brief. We'll take the question what we have in our question answers and chat box. Then we'll start with the Mayfairs.
I think I request Chetanji kindly take the question answer. You see,
You want
I
me to
cannot-
take? You want me to take it?
yeah, kindly please do it.
Okay. We've got a question, Mr. Alan Gore. Vijayji, I hope you can listen to us.
Yeah, I can.
All right. Mr. Alan Gore is asking, Mr. Vijay, what you suggest to go to Aruka Valley by road or by train for honeymooners?
Sir, the experience by train, the Vista Dome will always be a wonderful experience. Let them go onward by train. The vehicle will come behind and they'll pick them up at the railway station. So he would have both because the journey through the tunnels, about 56 tunnels and then 84 bridges is a wonderful, spectacular thing which they will never forget. So I would recommend to do a train journey in the morning, reach Arku, the vehicle will come and pick them up at the Arku station. In fact, they can pick them up at the Bora Caves itself.
We've seen the trains, very beautiful trains with an open kind of rooftop, with glass rooftop. So it is a very good experience and one can have a very joyful ride. Padma Gupta is asking, sir, what is the accessibility for Amravati and what accommodation options are available there?
Sir, Amravati is very close to Vijayawada and you have a 5-star hotel, Novotel there now. You have Taj, you have Fortune, you have a lot of hotels. You have DV Manar, all the good hotels are there, sir. You have about 2 5-stars and then you have about 3 to 4 4-stars and a lot of 3-star hotels.
Oh, great. CS Money is asking, what is the best time to visit Andhra Pradesh?
So the best time is always from September to March. That's the best time to visit.
Do you guys see a lot of heat in summer there?
Not really, sir. Yes, but we see, but there's a little bit of humidity. But usually people from Orissa and West Bengal do come in the summer because they also have a very similar climate.
Shivani Ahuja Kapoor is asking, how do we get access to the internet interesting itineraries and presentation of a promotion? Vijayji, do you have, you showed us one itinerary, but do you have other itineraries also, multiple itineraries for the destination?
Sir, I will send it to you officially tomorrow, all the different, you can send it across to all members.
Right. To update all the participants who are present here today, Mr. Vijay Mohan will send us the itineraries and the presentation, and we will share all of those with all our members and a YouTube link of this session as well. Anil Kumar Rajput, our Joint Secretary, is asking, my suggestion to the tourism department, the colorful light of caves should be removed and only white light should be there to have a natural look of rock. It's a suggestion to the government, sir. Right, Anilji, we forward to Praveen is listening to us, but once we send a letter to him with the question and answers, we will put this point also, sir. Mr. Karumuri is saying really awesome presentation. Thank you, ma'am. Gurji ji, are there any good hotels near Sri Sailam temple? Sir, I have been to Sri Sailam. I don't think any branded hotels are there, but you can get. Sorry, Vijay ji, I'm answering on your behalf.
Yeah,
because I have been there, so I know. You can you can get very good, comfortable guest houses and lodges, and there are 2 hotels also. Very comfortable, nice, neat and clean, and not too costly as well. Vijay ji, am I right, sir?
Yeah, that's right.
Right. Thank you.
Even tourism has a good property there.
Yeah, and a very nice temple, sir. Me and our treasurer, Mr. Dilip Gupta, went there, so it was a very nice temple there. We have got Policity Chabra Mohan ji raise his hand to speak about something. I'm taking him in. Please unmute yourself, sir. Speak, sir. Mr. Chandra Mohan.
Unmute yourself.
Mr. Chandra Mohan, if you can
Chandra
listen
Mohan
to us, yes.
Yeah.
Please go on, sir. Hello. Mr. Chandra Mohan, can you listen to us?
I think we'll skip.
We have to skip this. I think I've taken all the questions in there. But for all the participants, Mr. Vijay Mohan is here with us. Mr. Praveen ji is here with us. So if you have any questions in mind on Andhra Pradesh as a destination, please feel free to put in your questions in the question answer tab. We will take later on. But for now, over to you, Rajesh ji. We start with Nation.
Sir, there is one question, sir, for Praveen, sir.
Oh, yes, sir.
There is a question, Mr. Praveen, is as a present scenario, is there any easy policy to us as ADTO members to register as authorized agents for sale of AP tourism products for our customers?
Yeah.
Yeah, I have answered that in text, but I will also say what I think it is. We are going to encourage all of you in every policy, whatever you want. There is a rider that we want us and you to ensure safety. How do we do that? I don't know. But it's only when the safety is perfect, then your policy will be encouraged. Whatever you want to do, you're welcome to do, and take tourism back to its heights. But then the operation that you do has to have a way in which the safety is ensured. So I myself have personally got a lot of hope that at some time, which may not be a long time, that the testing methods, the tests that we have now, we may get tests which are shorter, better in reliability and shorter in time, and the day and easier when we are dealing with the people. When we get those kind of tests, then we can have especially the long duration vacations, long period vacations at particular destinations. Those destinations can be cordoned off with a perimeter of testing. And we can ensure that once somebody comes in for 10 days, stays there for 10 days. So after entering, after being tested, the tested people entering and the tested staff people are already there on campus, then it is possible. So you need to devise and you need to design such models. And this is an example of a destination visit, but you need to see how do you do the other things. So unless you have some safety things in position, I don't think people will be in a relaxed mindset to enjoy anything. They will be tense, they will be anxious, they'll be worried, and they also may not come also when you propose. Thank you.
Thank you, Praveen ji, for this answer. But I think the question was, do Andhra Pradesh government has any authorized agent kind of stuff with them? Because he wants to understand, like ADTO members can get an authorized agent tag to sell Andhra Pradesh products to their customer. Like if I qualify as an authorized agent, I'll be in a better position to sell Andhra Pradesh as a product to my clients.
There is already an existing method. That's what I'm trying to make you understand. Policy already exists. Okay, it's already there. Now the question is, we are under lockdown now. We don't operate now. But if you want to start using that policy and want to start some operations based on that, you can register even now. But the point is, you can't operate until during lockdown unless you have those precautions and things in place. So now it would not matter whether you're registering or not registering, but it is open. You can register, but you cannot act unless there is some safety.
I think I would like to intervene here, sir. I think we should go for that state specialist programs for the tour operators. Those who qualify for the state specialist program, they can register and they can be registered as a specialist expert in promoting Andhra Pradesh as a destination. I think we should do like this, something like that.
Sir, we'll send you a brief on this, what is the program is all about, because we have been doing it with Gujarat and MP Tourism. So it will be a better idea and approach to conduct this kind of specialist program. Mr. Sandeep Jindal is asking the same question about how to get registered. I think the answer is very well taken. Vijayji, we have got a couple of more hands. People wants to speak. Can we take them now, sir?
You wish, sir.
I think we should, Mr. Mahapatra is there, I don't
Sir,
think.
एक ले लेते हैं. Mr. Devendra Goyal है, sir. उनका ले लेते हैं. Then we'll move on to Mr. Mahapatra. Devanshu, can you unmute yourself? and speak, sir?
Hanji Grover साहब, unmute करो देवेंद्र जी.
Okay, Devanshu, yeah, good to go.
Hi. Good afternoon to all of you. Just wanted to know that post-COVID, will the AP Tourism Department coordinating with the airlines, railways, and hotels to win the tourist confidence? Because I know that it's all the families which will be traveling and honeymooners will be traveling. So would you be coordinating, to boost the tourism into the state? And what plans is the state government taking or will be taking to promote tourism once the tourism opens up slowly but surely?
Yeah, should I answer this?
Yes, sir.
Yes, yes, sir.
See, I want to be very clear. Let's not build castles in the air. You know, if you go forward 1 month, but among the group we are serving, if there is one infection or one death or one hospitalization, you're going to go back 1 year. So you can start some things. You can start a train or a flight or something. We can coordinate, we can do it, but safety should come first. This I want to be clear about this. This is not just about how do we plan whatever we plan, just because some people are free. Some people have been made free. Some shops have been opened. Now, this does not mean that we don't need to address safety. And we need to address safety in our own domain. There is no other person who's going to come and take care of your people's. If you are operating a bus for tourists, the government or the health department is not going to come and look after that bus. You're as operator or as owner or as service provider, you have to take care of it. And if you don't, this is what I'm trying. I think I already said something, but now I want to give the concrete example of an infection happening because within the group we are serving, possibly because of something we did not anticipate or some lapse at some point. So if we have a safety protocol, we provided sanitizers, we provide masks, we did some things, but something failed and somebody got infected. Then the talk goes out into the market saying that don't do this because you'll get infected. Okay. When that happens, now that particular segment and all other segment, the whole tourism segment takes a setback for maybe another many months before again we can come back again. That's why the safety question becomes much more important than the rest of the planning. You know, how the train is coming or those things. You have plenty of experience already. See, the questions you're asking, you're already very, very good at that. That is not of a main problem here. How do we add a layer of security on top? That is the one we don't know anything about. So each specialization, you have to customize what you need there. If it is a campus, how do you secure the campus? If it's a bus, how do you secure the bus? If it is a tour of many places, okay, how do you tie up those things? So this is where some innovation is required. Thank you.
Fair enough, sir. I think Devanshu, your question is answered, sir.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, Devanshu. Over to you, Rajesh ji, to start with the discussion.
Thank you, Parveen ji, for I appreciate you are part of this webinar, and I appreciate also you have spared some precious time to this webinar. And thanks, Vijay ji, once again for your wonderful presentation. Now I request Mr. Mahapatra to give the brief presentation on the Mayfair and Resort. Over to Mahapatra ji.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Arya ji. And thank you very much, Mr. Khanna and Chetan ji.
Welcome,
and
sir.
thank you very much for giving us this opportunity to present about Mayfair Group of Hotels. In fact, I fully agree with Mr. Khanna when he was talking about the winning the confidence and trust of the visitors who wish to visit a particular destination. So that is where the role of hotels comes in. The hotel plays a very important role to win the trust and the confidence of the visitors to visit a particular destination. So as far as Mayfair is concerned, we are very much concerned about that. And we have also started getting our SOP, standard operating procedures, revised with the guidelines what we have got from WHO, from FHRI, from Ministry of Tourism. So we have already got those guidelines, and we have started revising our standard operating procedures, keeping in view of the impact of the COVID. And our team is also doing the training on that. We have a beautiful training department. They have already started training all our staff who are in-house in the hotel premises. They have already started giving the training because these are very important. Because once, if we do not win the trust and confidence of our visitors, they will not visit a particular destination. So that's very important for us. And thank you for your advice on this. So now I would like to go to the presentation.
You can see the share screen button at the bottom of it, sir.
You'll have to give us the access, I believe.
No, you are a panelist, sir. You have got access. You can see the share screen, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, just click on this.
Okay, fine. Got it.
We can see all your mails.
Can you see the presentation now?
No, sir. We can see your mails. Your Outlook is open.
Oh God. Can you see the presentation now?
Yes, this is starting now. Just do the screen sharing and so we'll start, sir.
Okay. So it's done. Is it visible now?
Yeah. If you can make it a little bigger and make it on a presentation mode.
Yeah, it's there in the presentation mode now.
All right. Let's go for this.
Yeah. Okay. So Mayfair Hotels and Resorts, our slogan is stay with us, stay with nature. So all our hotel has got plenty of nature in it. In fact, these are all resorts in the sense our flagship property, Mayfair Lagoon in Bhubaneswar, is in 20 acres land, only having 70 rooms. So, and rest of the areas are with full of nature. So that is how our slogan is stay with us and stay with nature. Our promoter is Mr. Dilip Ray. He is from Odisha, a place called Rourkela. Rourkela is this steel city. And right now we are present in 5 states. We are in Odisha, we are in Chhattisgarh, Sikkim, West Bengal, and we have a property in Goa also. So out of the 12 properties what we have right now, so 6 of the properties are situated in Odisha. So we have 2 properties in Bhubaneswar. We have a property in at Gopalpur on sea, which is very near to the Andhra Pradesh, which is around 3 hours drive from Visakhapatnam. And we have 2 properties in Puri, and we have a property in Rourkela, as I said earlier. So that's the first hotel. And we have 4 properties in Northeast area. We have a beautiful property in Gangtok. Gangtok is the first onshore live casino, is having the first onshore live casino in our Gangtok property. We have a property in Kalimpong, that's a heritage property. We have a property in Darjeeling, and we are recently going to come up with a property in Siliguri. Apart from that, we have a beautiful property which has come up in Chhattisgarh. So that's completely destination wedding and MICE hotel. And we have a hotel in Goa, which is situated in the southern part of the Goa. So we have segmented all our hotel in 4 categories. So we have MICE hotel, we have wedding hotels, we have hills and adventure tourism, so we have beach tourism. So we will talk about these segments in my presentation. So as far as beach tourism is concerned, we have 4 hotels who takes part in the beach tourism. So as I said, we have 2 hotels in Puri, in the abode of Lord Jagannath. So we are on the Bay of Bengal, and both the properties are right on the beach. We have a property in Gopalpur on sea. So as I said, that is very near to Vizag, around 3 hours journey from Vizag. So that is again a heritage property in the year 1900 and 1914. This particular hotel was built by an Italian, and later on the Oberoi was managing this property till 1999, and after that we took it over from Oberoi, and this is a Mayfair hotel right now. And we have a property in Goa, in the southern part of Goa. That's a boutique property. We are in 2 acres of land, only having 30 rooms in Goa. So when we talk about the beach properties, so we have 5 nights and 6 days packages to cover these properties. So you can stay 2 nights in Puri, 1 night in Gopalpur on sea, and 1 night you come to Bhubaneswar, and from there you can fly back. So when you in Bhubaneswar, you get to see stay in Mayfair Lagoon, which is our 5-star deluxe property. And in Puri, either in Mayfair Heritage or in Waves, which is right there on the beach, and in Gopalpur, Mayfair Gopalpur on sea. So with your permission, I will just like to show one video of one of these properties for your information. This is our Gopalpur property.
Mahapataji, I'm sorry to intervene. A lot of people have suggestions to make your. Sir, sorry about it. A lot of people.
Sorry.
Sir,
Yes,
lot of people have suggestions to enlarge your screen, sir. Make it in a full screen mode, because
Okay,
the
fine.
screen is coming very small, sir.
Okay. Okay.
There's an option at the bottom of it. You can make it on a full screen mode. Vijayji, if you can help him, sir, how to do it?
Yeah, I'll do. Yeah. Sir, you have this column. Next slide, just remove that. Then your screen will enlarge on its own.
Yeah.
See, no?
And the video is also not playing.
Okay. Okay. I'll just fix it up. Yeah, just a moment.
Yeah. Take a minute, sir. But that will be easier for everyone to understand.
Yeah, I know. Slides. Is it okay now? Is it coming in the full screen?
No, sir. Still the same. No, sir. It is the last screen. No, so you have to remove this next slide from here. Then
Okay,
probably
okay.
this will be bigger. Yeah, this is better. Yeah, this is done. Yeah.
Yeah, it's done.
Fantastic. Yes. Please move on, sir.
Yes. I would just like to show the video of our Gopalpur on sea property.
Yeah.
Is it visible?
Yes, sir. No, video is not coming. Only the screen.
Video is not coming.
No. Only voice.
Only music. No video.
It's still not coming.
No, sir. Only music.
Sir, no video.
Sir, I suggest you avoid the video. I think it's not.
Yeah,
Yeah.
correct. Yeah.
Let's move ahead.
It's coming.
Its video is coming now.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Okay, fine. Then we will forget the video.
Yeah,
Go
correct.
ahead with the yeah.
Yes, you can continue now.
Right.
Sir, do like earlier only, sir. Go to that, remove that side screen. Yeah.
Right.
Sir, you have that.
Yeah. Is it done?
Yes, sir. Please go on, sir.
Yeah, right. So as far as this the beach properties are concerned, we have got Golden Triangle packages, including Bhubaneswar, Gopalpur on sea, and the Puri. And once you are in these hotels, you get to visit these sites in options. So you get to visit Irrawaddy Dolphin in Chilka Lake. You get to visit the Nalavana Bird Sanctuary in Chilka Lake. Then the olive ridley tortoise. Olive ridley tortoise, I would like to tell more about it. So this is basically you get to see only in Odisha, and that too in Ganjam district, in a place called Rusikulya river mouth. So around 3.8 lakh turtles every year come to this place and do the mass nesting and goes back to the sea. So this is something a very good sightseeing place which every traveler must see. So it happens from February to the first week of March. So this is that's the time when this Mars nesting takes place. Then we have Peace Pagoda in Bhubaneswar. Then Odissi dance is very famous worldwide. Then we have UNESCO Heritage Sun Temple. Then Padma Shri Sudarshan Patnaik, who is the renowned sand artist and an international sand artist who does the sand art on the Puri beach right in front of our hotel. And of course, Lord Jagannath Temple, which you get to visit while staying in these beautiful resorts. There are also beach sports activities which have started in Puri and Gopalpur on sea, and in collaboration with the private partners. Then we move on to the hill and adventure tourism. When you talk about this hill and adventure tourism, so we have properties in Darjeeling, Kalimpong, Gangtok, and now we are going to come up with a beautiful resort in Siliguri. Darjeeling, we are situated at 6,000 feet up and overlooking the Kanchenjunga ranges. It exactly overlooks the Sandatpur ranges and the tea garden which is there in the Sandatpur ranges. And we are right on the Mall Road, and walkable. It is quite walkable distance to the Himalayan Mountaineering Institute and the famous zoo of Darjeeling. We have a beautiful property in Kalimpong. Again, that is a heritage property that used to be the Himalayan Hotel, and it was run by the Australian family called McDonald family. So we took over this property in 2012, and in 2013 we came up with a beautiful resort out there with more addition of the rooms and the facilities. And Gangtok property, all of you know, we are the first 5-star deluxe property in the entire northeastern region, and also it has got the casino, which is again the first onshore live casino of the country. So combining these 3 hotels, we have got a package called Hill and Adventure package, which is again for 5 nights and 6 days. So while staying for 5 nights and 6 days in these properties, you get to visit all these places. So you can go to Tiger Hill and Batasia Loop in Darjeeling and also visit the beautiful tea garden, and you can do the rafting in Tista River. You can visit beautiful monasteries like Rumtek Monastery and Doldrum Monasteries in Gangtok and Kalimpong. You can also visit to Nathula and Changu Lake, which is the Tibet border, and also you can visit Namchi, which is famous for Char Dham. So there is a replica of Char Dham out here, right on the top of the hill. So that's a beautiful tourist destination. So as far as wedding and MICE tourism is concerned, this is our main forte. In fact, we get around 50% of our revenue from wedding and MICE tourism, and we mainly cater to the domestic crowd. So Mayfair Lagoon is our 5-star, is our flagship property, which is a 5-star deluxe property right on 20 acres of land in the middle of the city. So we have a lake in the middle of the resort, and the entire resort is surrounded by the lake, having huge banquet halls, which you can see here. It can accommodate, it is around 10,000 square feet area, and having a huge pre-function area can accommodate a big conventions and the wedding. We have a huge open air banqueting spaces wherein we can do around 5,000 to 6,000 people's huge gathering. And our Raipur resort, which we recently opened, last year only we opened this resort, which is in Naya Raipur, which is in 25 acres land and in the bank of a lake. It is just having 125 rooms and the luxury hotel in the entire central India. And we are able to cater it to the MICE and wedding destination, wedding segments out there. So recently, the network of Indian MICE agents also did their annual convention out there. And I would request ADTOI also to look at doing their annual function in Raipur or in Bhubaneswar. So we are in touch with the respective tourism board over there, and they are also interested to get you here. So maybe after this presentation, we can speak about it, and we can look at your the destination for your doing the annual convention in these two places.
Yeah, thank you, Mahapatra ji, for your presentation.
Yeah, only last
And-
one is we have a property coming up in Siliguri, which is again a nice destination right in the foothill of Darjeeling. So from there, so we have acquired 1,000 acres tea garden out there, which is located in the foothill of Darjeeling, and a beautiful resort has come up out there. So we are supposed to open it on 9th of April, but it has got delayed due to this pandemic, and we are going to open it before Puja, hopefully. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Pradipta ji, and this is a wonderful presentation. I like your slogan, "Stay with us, stay with nature." This absolutely fit to your property. I have been to this Gangtok property as well as Darjeeling property. No doubt, it's a beautiful properties I have visited, and also the food part was also very good. Now I'll request Chetan ji, if you have must have seen the question answer is there, you can take a question one by one.
Right. So before we go on to the question, I just forget to introduce Mr. Pradipta Mohapatra properly. Mr. Pradipta is working as Vice President of the Mayfair Hotels and looking after the entire all the properties for as a one-point destination contact. If anyone has any questions about the property or want to gain any knowledge about it, you're most welcome to reach out to him or to us. We will forward the questions to him. We will share Mr. Mahapatra's email address with all our participants today, so that he can be contactable over the email or on phone in that way. Moving forward to the questions, so we have got a couple of questions, not many, but to start with, Vineet Kumar Sharma ji is asking: is Mayfair a budget class hotel chain?
So we have all luxury properties. These are all 5-star properties. And we are in the place wherever we are present, we are the best hotel out there. So these are all 5-star properties.
Vineet ji, we all know Mayfair is a luxury 5-star property brand, so all our 5-star deluxe properties.
And let me add that, Mahapatra ji, on your behalf, that it's a value for money, basically.
Absolutely.
Great. Mr. Vineet Kumar is asking again, please specify the room inventory, star category, and banquet facilities of Mayfair Hotels. Vineet ji, we have already mentioned the star category is all 5 stars.
Yeah. Do you have any? You're looking for any specific location?
Vineet ji, I think we can take it one-to-one, because if it's a specific query, we can take it one-to-one.
Because we have all the hotels having the MICE facility and wedding facility. So if in case he is looking for any specific hotel, so accordingly I can answer.
Right. Kavita Bhagat ji is asking, do you include transportation for Mayfair packages?
Yes, we do. We do. Whatever packages I showed in my presentation, so that includes the transportation as well.
So do you mean the transportation included is from airport or from the railway station? So all is
from
included.
airport or from railway station. Yes.
All right. Kavita ji, that satisfies your answer, sir. Answer, ma'am. Sorry. Rate policy for tour operator. We will share it with you, Vineet ji. Ellen Gorge is asking. We used to get regular mailers about packages, but now not receiving. Pradipta ji?
We will. In fact, keeping in view of this COVID, so we have devised beautiful packages, so that we are going to publish in next 1 week's time. So once it is done, so I will share with all ADTOI members. We are also the member of ADTOI, so I have got the list of everybody's, so I will share it.
Fantastic, sir. Mayfair Hotels, just to update all our members, Pan India, Mayfair is now a member of ADTOI. So we are very proud to have them as our member. And on that behalf, being member of your association, we will discuss and share all the details. Kavita Bhagat ji is asking, I have read the word fortune of visiting the Raipur property along with some ADTOI members outstanding. What does this mean, ma'am? Not able to understand properly. I can see Mr. Devendra Grover has asked his hand to ask a question. I'm taking him in. Devendra ji,
Unmute, please.
Devendra ji, you need to unmute yourself and speak, sir. Kavita ji, I heard your question. I am taking you next.
Hi.
Devendra ji, go on.
Yeah, hi. Mr. Mohapatra,
नमस्कार नमस्कार देवेंद्र जी
कैसे हैं आप? All well?
एकदम बढ़िया आप कैसे हैं? How are
All
you,
well,
sir?
all well. Thank you so much. Now, my
Yeah.
small question would be,
Yes.
when we are trying to have the guests with you, that's fabulous post-COVID. Are you going to come out with the special packages, etc.? Because you have a ready-made packages, right?
Yes, we are going to be very specific about our package. For example, in Puri, we are going to come up with a spiritual package. Yeah. Then again, wherever we are present, so there are cities which can also the people can cover from those cities through driving. Okay, so we have a driving package also which is going to come up. So all those packages are going to come up. In fact, you see in hills, we have got those hill retreat package which is going to come up. And in Siliguri, we will have a tea tourism package which is going to come up. So those keeping in view of all the domestic tour operators, we are going to come up with those packages and we are going to publish it very soon within a week.
Mohapatra, the challenge with the hotels all over the Indian subcontinent and worldwide would be all our friends, agent friends, etc., are curious to know about the MICE segment, how you're going to take up, and also the weddings part, which is very, with the hotels, it's a premium one. How you're going to take up this challenge?
Devendra ji, we are in a process to get the guidelines from the central government and the state government. In fact, you see my boss, our chairman, Mr. Dilip Ray, and my executive director, Mr. Saubhagya Mahapatra, they are having a meeting with the Chief Minister's office in Odisha today. So they are going to take up as to how we are going to start this particular events, the MICE and wedding. So there are a lot of guidelines which is getting discussed. In fact, it is not in our level, it is in a national level which is going to take place. These guidelines are going to be given. So let's see. So we'll have to wait and see what guidelines you need to get from the government. So that we need to see. So in fact, it is very early to answer now.
Mr. Mohapatra, I think Mr. Praveen is also here. Just a small clarification, because the central government is giving full powers to the provinces and the states to have their own policies and the behavioral sciences in terms of post-COVID scenario. Now, would you be coordinating, and how much time do you think, Mr. Praveen Kumar and Mr. Mohapatra, to go ahead and coordinate with the central government and the state government in terms of standardizing the policies?
We still have not got any official communication on that.
Sir, as far as the Odisha is concerned, so there is a committee which is being made, and there are tour operators, there are hoteliers in that committee, and with the tourism board. So they are having a meeting today, and also I think day after tomorrow they have another meeting lined up. So probably some guidelines will come up.
Yeah, let us know, sir, when and as and when you get something on it.
Sure.
Yes.
Thank
Right,
you.
Govindaji, thank you so much, sir. Pradipta ji, if you can brief a little more on your Chilka property, because people are asking for it, sir.
We have a property in Gopalpur on sea, which is around half an hour drive from the Chilka Lake. Once you go to, stay in Gopalpur property, which is 2 hours drive from Bhubaneswar Airport, and the nearest railway station is Barampur. So our hotel is just situated 15 minutes away from the Barampur railway station, and Barampur railway station can be, the people can come to Barampur railway station from all over the country. So in fact, so that's the railway line which connects Calcutta and Chennai. So all the trains and everything passes through Barampur. And from Barampur, from Gopalpur on sea, the Chilka Lake is just half an hour drive. So you can do a day trip to Chilka Lake. So you can do the boating out there. You can visit the Kalijai island out there, and you can also do the bird watching out there. So these are the three things you can do. And if you are staying in our Puri property, the another part of the Chilka Lake is just 50 kilometers away from there. You can also do a day visit to the Chilka Lake and get to see the dolphins out there, the Irrawaddy dolphins, what I mentioned in my presentation. So you get to see those dolphins out there.
But to talk on your competition, one of our member, Mr. Kuldeep Patel, is asking how to compete with Swastik group of hotels in Gopalpur, Odisha. Child policy, that means how many years old can accommodate the parents?
Sir, we are a different class of hotel out there in Gopalpur. And Swasti is having, Swasti recently came up with a hotel in Chilka Lake, right near to the, Kalijai temple.
Yeah.
So that's a beautiful destination.
Yeah,
In fact,
Mr. Khanna been there. So
that's a beautiful hotel.
Yeah.
But again, having there are no other hotels out there wearing Swasti and Mayfair.
True.
So as far as the competition is concerned,
Yeah.
there is no competition and there are a lot of demands.
What is the child policy, sir?
Below 6 years, we don't allow.
Okay.
6 years of age, up to 2 children, we don't allow. I mean, we give them complimentary. We don't take any money. And beyond from 6 to 12, 7 to 12 years, we have a rate, and 12 years and above is
Full.
under
Adult bracket. Okay. Dr. Kukukumar is asking, will the prices be revised or compromised post-COVID for some time to attract tourists on your properties, Mayfair properties?
Sir, it depends, because you see, rooms are a perishable item. We definitely do not want to get our rooms unsold. So it's all depend. If we are going to incur a lot of expenses as far as room maintenance cost is concerned.
Yeah.
Right now, if I take the example of my hotel group, it is only 8%, and we expect that it will go up to 30%. So this room maintenance cost is definitely going to kill us, in fact. So, but again, having said that, if there are no movements, then we'll have to compromise on the rate. So it's from case to case basis. It is all dynamic.
True.
It is all dynamic. If in case we are having good occupancy, yes, maybe our rates are high. If there are rooms empty, then we'll have to sell it in lesser rate.
Absolutely. It always depends on demand and supply. So
Yeah. But as I said, we are going to incur a lot of expenses as far as room maintenance costs.
I'm sure. I'm taking Kavita Bhagatji. She has a question, and I'm asking her to speak. Unmute yourself and speak, ma'am. Can you listen to me?
I was just saying, when we had gone on a Raipur fam with that toy, Maharashtra toy, we got a chance to visit the hotel Mayfair at Raipur. Absolutely fantastic, outstanding, and would recommend it to. I mean, by seeing that, I can understand what Mayfair is all about everywhere.
Yeah, madam. In fact, it is a request of mine to Mr. Khanna and the entire team to do the EDTOI, annual event out there. And
it would be wonderful.
Yeah, we will on behalf of the EDTOI, we will speak to the tourism department, the government of Chhattisgarh, and we can provide necessary assistance.
We can definitely work out on this, sir. We have something in plan.
Thank you, Pradipta ji, and we are depending on you now to have our next convention in Raipur.
We'll see,
sir. In fact, Mr. Vijay Mohan can tell us, because they did a conference of network Indian MICE agents. So they did it last year. So he can tell us what kind of experience they got.
No, Kavita ji, just to add that, nothing to say about the Mayfair. In my initial also speak, I said that Mayfair has a different, the segment. It's totally different. You cannot consider even as a 5-star. These are all the luxury segments are there. I have been to Bhubaneswar 3 times. I have stayed in their hotel, and also been to Kalimpong. And
Yeah.
Canning Pong, when I stayed, it was a beautiful, really resort everywhere. I've never been to Gangtok. I want to go there also. But definitely the next will be, I think, Raipur, as you have really appreciated that, Kavita ji, that I think we should go to now to Raipur, I think. And Vijay ji
Yes.
will work on that.
We'll work it
I
out.
would like to see all the hotels.
Yeah,
Thank
sure.
you.
You're most welcome, madam. Please.
Thank you, Kavita ji.
Thank you.
I think your questions are answered, sir. Ma'am, thank you.
Yes,
so much.
thank you.
We have covered more or less all the questions which are there in the question answer round. So we'll back to the session, sir.
Mr. Parveen Kumar ji is there? Vijay
Hanji,
ji?
sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Sir, I just want to finish it off actually, basically to say that, after this crisis and the COVID, a lot of people are stressed that how to do that. And the first priority is also of everybody is going to the temples or to their own gods, because to relax and to say, pray the God that, the future should be good, and everybody wants to that. So in Andhra Pradesh, we are taking that Tirupati is one of the, the temples which are the famous, world famous, and millions of people, they visit there in the Tirupati. But we have never capitalized the Tirupati with the other leisure sectors, basically. If we really consider that, there are a lot of nearby, like the Visakhapatnam, if you are talking about the Vijayawada or the Amravati, we have never capitalized, or the Uti, or maybe to different states also. So I think after this COVID, when the people will be going to pray their gods to the temples, and that is their first priority. So I think we should capitalize on the privilege, the religious with the leisure. So that has to be combined in such a way so that their people not only go to the Tirupati, they also go to the leisure, and we also promote Andhra Pradesh as a destination. This is my request to you, sir.
Yeah, it's a good suggestion. We can try and do that.
Right. Thank you, sir. I would like to thank all of the panelists here today, and we request Vijay Mohanji and Pradipta ji to please share the presentation of PPT of today's presentation, so that we can share with all the members and send them a link on the email, because people have actually appreciated both the presentations and they want to have a copy of this for their reference and future records.
Thank
I
you.
would request both of them to share the record.
I'll send it.
Definitely, I will do request Vijay ji and Pradipta ji that if you can also send us the packages to all our members, which you have already said that. So it will be really help after the COVID, when it is uplifted. Immediately we can start, selling. We have in hand something to promote as a destination, as a hotels. So we can do that very easily. Otherwise, what happens that people start asking, what is the package for that particular state or for the particular hotel? So once we have in hand something ready, so immediately we can sell it to our clients.
Yeah, we will separate all these to our members for the ready reference and hand on with them. So, thank you, everyone, and thank you, Praveen ji, for your presence today, sir. It is lovely to have you, and we will send you the brief on the questions which you have asked. So we will see the questions again, and we will send a proper answer to you on this, sir. Thank you, Vijay ji. Thank you so much. Thank you, Pradipta ji. Thank you, Arya Sahab, for moderating the session, sir. And thank you, Khanna ji, for your presence today. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you very much. Thank you to everybody, and namaskar to everybody.
Namaskar.
Thank you.